वीडियो को हिंदी में देखने के लिए डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए लिंक पर क्लिक करें। हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू DTC classes. In this video, we are going to discuss the key concepts, standard symbols, basic terminologies, and the standard formulae of the chapter. We will also be solving a few representative examples. The most important part of the video is the discussion of the critical areas where most students lose their marks. So it would be a good thing if you note those mistakes down and made sure that you did not commit them. Linear inequations. The best part about the chapter is there are no formulae, only certain terminologies that you need to understand, certain procedures that you need to follow to do the sum. Before going into the procedures, let us understand a few terminologies. These are a few letters that are given in almost every sum. One of them will be given and you will have to understand what does they represent. So capital R represent set of all real numbers. Capital I represents set of all integers. Capital W represents set of all whole numbers. While capital N represents set of all natural numbers. Real numbers are any numbers that you can imagine on the number line. So the complete number line is basically the set of real numbers. Integers are basically numbers which do not contain any fractional part. So basically -1, -2, 1, 2, 3, etc. everything. All complete numbers without the fractional part. So basically it extends on both the positive and the negative side. Whole numbers, they start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and extend indefinitely in the positive side. While natural numbers start from 1 and they extend indefinitely to the positive side, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Here, symbols, we use certain symbols which we should be familiar with. This symbol represents greater than symbol and this symbol represents less than symbol. So if I write x is greater than 3, it simply implies that the value of x will be any number that is greater than 3 but not 3. But if I want to include 3, I will have to use this symbol, that is x greater than or equal to 3. So if I want to say x is greater than or equal to 3, I am trying to say that x, the value of x is either greater than 3 or is equal to 3. So 3 is included in the value for x. But in the previous case, 3 was not included. Similarly, this symbol represents less than or equal to. So either if x is less than or equal to 3, that simply means the value of x is either less than 3 or it is equal to 3. Solve the following inequation and represent the solution set on the number line. -8 1 by 2 less than -1 by 2 minus 4x less than equal to 7 1 by 2, where x belongs to integers, capital I. So as always, the first thing we do is copy the data. So the question has very little data. -8.5 is less than minus half minus 4x is less than equal to 7.5. This single inequation can actually be broken down into two different inequations. This is the first inequation where something is greater than or less than, so less than equal to something, and this will be the second inequation where something is less than equal to something else. So basically we'll consider these two as separate. So at the first thing, we'll take the first one. So -8.5 is less than equal to minus half minus 4x. So it's very simple. We'll just convert it into improper fraction, -17 by 2 and take an LCM on the right side. So that will be -1 minus 8x whole divided by 2. We can cancel the 2's off and we'll get -17 is less than -1 minus 8x. We can transpose -1 from the right side to the left side and that will become +1. So -17 plus 1 is -16. So -16 is less than -8x. Now we need to transpose this -8. When we transpose -8, we need to remember something, that when you transpose a number that is multiplied to the other side, it essentially becomes divided by. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm dividing both sides by -8. So whenever I divide or multiply both sides of the equation by a certain negative number, the sign of the inequation changes. So basically, minus 16 less than minus 8x will become minus 16 by minus 8 greater than x. You need to remember this. So this becomes 2 is greater than x. And similarly, now we take the second part. So minus 1 by 2 minus 4x is less than equal to 7.5. So we take an LCM on the left side. It's minus 1 minus 8x is less than equal to 15 by 2. We cancel the 2's off. We get minus 1 minus 8x is less than equal to 15. We'll transpose the minus 1 from the left side to the right side. We get minus 8x is less than minus 16 because 15 plus 1. And when we divide both sides by minus 8, we get x, the sign gets changed, is greater than equal to 16 by minus 8. So therefore, x is greater than equal to minus 2. Now we have two linear inequalities and we need to combine them in a single one. So the best way to do it is, I write x and on both sides I write less than. So if you essentially see x is greater than something and x is less than something. So if you read this equation, we can see x is greater than equal to minus 2. Since x is greater than, it belongs to this first part. So minus 2 is less than equal to x because the question had greater than or equal to. So we'll have to place it in the solution set as well. And x is less than 2. So here 2 is greater than x. So if you reverse the equation, you get x is less than 2. So you simply place 2. There was no equal to sign there here. So therefore no equal to sign appears there. So but x belongs to integers. So we can essentially say that x can possess any value between minus 2 till 2. Any integral value, integers you can have between minus 2 till 2, where minus 2 is included but 2 is not included. So essentially we can have minus 2, we can have minus 1, we can have 0, we can have 1, and then we'll need to stop because the next integer is 2 and we cannot go beyond 2. We cannot even accept 2. So the integers, the solution set is minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1. Then the question asks us to represent them on the number line. So we'll have to draw a number line. A number line has to be drawn using a pencil only. You draw a straight line. First thing you need to understand that you will not just draw the numbers that you are required to represent. You will always take two numbers on either side as extras. So basically 4 numbers are already there and 2 plus 2. You need 4 numbers more. So you need 8 markings. So you mark once, first marking, and then take a same gap, take a fixed gap and then mark them again. So basically you need to mark every gap with equal distances. So the best distance according to me is 2 centimeter, but you can choose accordingly. So you mark the first gap, write it as minus 4, then you mark the second gap and write it as minus 3. You take that fixed gap and mark everything. Use a proper scale for the marking. I prefer using a 2 centimeter gap for every integer, but you can choose otherwise, not a problem. So basically minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The number line should have arrows indicating on both the sides, indicating that the line is indefinitely extending on both sides. This side represents the positive direction, so therefore x, and this side represents the negative direction, therefore x dash. So number line is essentially nothing but x-axis. But we have not completed our sum yet. We need to, using a pencil only, we need to mark these points. So the points are minus 2, minus 1, 0 and 1. So basically we mark those points in bold dark circles so that teacher can recognize that these are the numbers that you wanted to represent. And your answer is complete. There are certain critical areas in which you need to be very careful if you do not want to lose your major marks. So one such important point has always been the use of which implies or. So you can use either of the symbology, but you have to use when you are using both the sides of an equation or an inequation. Same thing. Secondly, whenever you are dividing an inequation by a negative number or multiplying an inequation by a negative number, the sign in the middle changes from less than to greater than, from greater than to less than, and you need to use that. So if you do not do that, you will have your answer wrong, and therefore everything will be wrong. The third important point is the writing of solution set. Quite a lot of students think that this is the solution set, but no, you have to write the specific words. Solution set equals to, and the set always is in a curly bracket. So it is always in the second brackets. You always have to use those brackets. Third mistake that most of the students do is while drawing a number line. A number line has to be always drawn in pencil only. So you have to draw the number line using pencil only. Do not use a pen anywhere in the number line. Secondly, the number line should have arrows on both the ends, and X, capital X and capital X dash written, capital X on the right side and capital X written on the left side. The numbers must have equal distances. You must never use a draw without using a scale. You just draw randomly. No. You will always draw using a scale, giving proper spacings. And third, the points that you want to represent here, that is in this case -2, -1, 0, 1, should be properly visible, like those dark circles. And if we in the further sum we'll do for real numbers, we'll have to shade an area. So the shading should be properly visible. If you do not follow these steps, you can lose quite a lot of marks in this portion. Solve following inequation. Write the solution set and represent it on the number line. Minus x by 3 is less than equal to x by 2 minus 1 by 3 is less than 1 by 6, where x belongs to capital R, that is set of all real numbers. Same as before, the data has been copied. So the data is very little in these type of sums. So we'll divide the inequation into two parts. The first part being this. So the first part is minus x by 3 less than equal to x by 2 minus 1 by 3. So we'll convert 1 by 3 into improper fraction. Rest everything is copy pasted. And then we'll take an LCM on the right hand side. So we get 3x minus 8 divided by 6. Now we transpose 6 to the other side. So we can cancel out 3 twice of 6. So we have minus 2x on the right hand side. And we transpose the 3x from the left hand side to the right hand side. So we get minus 2x minus 3x is less than equal to minus 8x. Here, when we were transposing 6, it was a positive number. So multiplying 6 on both sides has no effect on the sign. But later, when we get minus 3x minus 2x equals to minus 5x, and we transpose this minus 5 from the left hand side to the right hand side, since we are dividing both sides by minus 5, now we have to change the sign. So the sign sign of the inequality changes from less than equal to greater than equal to, and the minus gets cancelled off. So x is greater than or equal to 8 by 5. Now we take the second part of the inequation, that is x by 2 minus 1 by 3 is less than 1 by 6. Same rules. We convert 1 by 3 into improper fraction. Take the LCM of the left hand side. We get 3x minus 8 divided by 6 is less than 1 by 6. We can simply cancel the 6's off. We get 3x minus 8 is less than 1. So therefore 3x minus 8, when we transpose minus 8 from the left hand side to the right hand side, it becomes plus 8. So we have 1 plus 8, that is 9. So x, now 3x is less than 9. Now we transpose 3 from the LHS to the RHS. We get x is less than equal to 9 by 3. Since now we are dividing by a positive number, we do not have to change the sign of the inequation, and it remains x is less than 3. So x is less than 3. Now to form a solution set, first we need to understand from which number is x greater than and from which number is x less than. So in the greater than scenario, I can see it is greater than equal to. So x is greater than equal to 8 by 5. So x is greater than equal to 8 by 5. And the next number is x is less than 3. But x belongs to real numbers. Real numbers are all the numbers on the number line. Simply stating all the fractions, decimals, everything. So how do we point out every real number? We don't. We cannot. Actually, it is impossible. So what do we do is we write the solution set in the set builder form. Same rules, curly bracket, just remember the rules. X such that, the is to symbol, the ratio symbol, such that X belongs to R. That is obviously given in the question, comma, we copy this. Just copy paste, same thing. So when you have written this correctly, this will automatically be correct, but you have to write a solution set. You cannot miss it out. Next thing is to represent on the number line. Same rules. Number line should be drawn using a pencil, arrows on both sides, X on the right side, X dash on the left side. The numbers must have equal spacing. Now we need to locate 8 by 5. In your mind, 8 by 5 is 1 point something. To be accurate, 1.6. But that doesn't matter here. What we need to find out is where 1.6 will lie. It will lie between 1 and 2. So anywhere between 1 and 2, mark a number 8 by 5. It's okay, it's done. Next number is 3. So here we need to shade everything from 8 by 5 till 3. So I draw a line here pointing out that every number between 8 by 5 and 3 is included. But since we already know that 8 by 5 should also be included and 3 must not be included, we need something to differentiate this. Because here anybody can think either 8 by 5 and 3 both are not included or both are included. So how do we do that? We simply make dots. We simply create circles, that is hollow or bold circles, to represent any number that is included. We represent it using a dark circle, a bold circle. So since 8 by 5 is greater than equal to, so we use a bold circle for this, and since 3 is not equal to, so therefore we use a hollow circle. If you miss out on the bold and the hollow circle, teacher is obviously going to cut marks for the number line and you will lose a few marks for it. If the video was helpful to you, please like the video and share it with your friends so that it can reach to the maximum number of people. If you have any problems pertaining to the chapter, please comment your problems below and I'll try to resolve them. If you want to support us, please click on the icon and subscribe to the channel.